Complex fractions, unit 12.3. So a complex fraction, by definition, is either both the numerator and the denominator contain fractions or mixed numbers. A simple integer may also be part of the complex fraction, appearing in either the numerator or the denominator. So a complex fraction is a fraction that contains another fraction. And here's an example. So what you want to do initially is to combine the fractions in the numerator and then combine the fractions in the denominator. So the numerator will give you A, and then denominator will give you B, which is also equal to A divided by B. Since the fractions in the numerator have the same denominator, which is 5, we will put it down as our common denominator. Now negative 4 plus 3, we'll write it up here, which will give you negative 1 over 5. Now the fractions in the denominator don't have the same denominator, so we'll find the common denominator by multiplying 2 to 2/3, which should give you 4 over 6. So now 5 over 6 comes down here, minus 5 minus 4 will equal 1, and the common denominator is 6. And now you want to bring down these fractions and rewrite them as negative 1/5 over 1/6, or it will be equal to, say, negative 1/5 divided by 1/6. Okay, so now the way you divide it is by turning this into the reciprocal of it, right? So it would be negative 1/5, and this would be 6 over 1, but we would multiply here. And your answer here would be negative 6 over 5. Okay, now let's look at a second problem. Again, where we're going to start is by finding the lowest common denominator. In this problem, 2 is already can be factored, so it will just be 2. X, again, this will be just x. But 4 down here, you can factor this in 2 times 2. And x here can be factored into x squared can be factored into x times x. Alright, that'll give you now, as your lowest common denominator, you have 2 from the numerator, 2 x, 2 from the denominator, and then another x. So if you combine both, you will have 4, because 2 times 2, and x times x will give you x squared. This is your lowest common denominator. Now that we know the lowest common denominator is 4x squared, we want to apply that both and multiply it to the numerator and denominator. 4x squared over 4x squared. Alright? This will be rewritten into the fractions as 4x squared, right, times half plus 4x squared over times 2x over 4x squared times a quarter, 1/4, minus 4x squared times 4x squared. Now we're going to solve for this by 4x squared times half gives you 2x squared. 4x squared by 2 over x, that gives you 8. And then x divided by x squared gives you x. Over, right, now 4x squared by a quarter gives you 1x squared, but we'll put down x squared, minus 4x squared over x squared gives you 16, and the x squares cancel each other. Okay, so to solve this fraction, we have to factor. On the numerator up here, we have to find the common factors, and in the denominator, we have to find the perfect square. So what does that look like? With the numerator, we know that there's 2x, there's a square, plus 8x. So 2x outside, and then the inside, you would multiply that by x plus 4. Now, in the denominator, x squared minus 16 would give you x minus 4, right? And then x plus 4, because we're trying to get a negative number, which in this case is 16. Now, if you look at this fraction, x4 cancels x4 out here, and you're left with 2x over x minus 4.